Hello everyone and welcome to another comic review. Today we are going to be reviewing a pick from Patchwork Comics, Alphonse the Dogtective. I gotta say right off the bat, I do kind of like the magnifying glass with the little dog bone on it. That's super cute. So Alphonse the Dogtective is about a dog detective in furry universe who is on the case to solve a murder mystery with his hyper yet good-intentioned friend. Now I know I said furry universe, but really all I've seen so far are cats and dogs. So I guess it's more like pet universe. If you ask a kid what's your favorite pet, chances are they're either gonna say a cat or a dog. So maybe that's the best option for the furry universe. If you're expecting an action-packed comic, chances are you're not gonna get it here. This is more of a mystery comedy, maybe even a little bit of a drama aspect in there. I do love the art. I think you've got a good style here and a very cartoonish appeal to it. The colors are also very well done. They always feel kind of this warm, inviting, and based on the art style and the cartooniness of this comic, you might be asking, is this an all ages comic? And to that, I might say yes, for the most part. Without a doubt, this probably would not get approved for Nickelodeon. If you are thinking maybe you want a cute dog detective to buy for your kid, maybe this is a comic book that they might enjoy, there are a few factors that you're going to need to consider. First and primemost would be seeing cartoon dead dog bodies. You're gonna see a couple of those. Second would be seeing a bar scene. I don't know how friendly you are with that. Pretty sure those dogs are smoking. There is the occasional adult joke thrown in there. And then there are guns. And they're not fantasy Star Wars guns either. I actually thought that this was supposed to be beer when I first looked at it. Upon closer inspection, I noticed that that was not an R. It actually says beef? Beef something? I don't know what it is. Beef something. It does look like a beer can though. Maybe it's like some kind of beef gravy. I have no idea. He's drinking it, so it's gotta be some sort of liquid, right? But there is no cursing, there is no over-the-top violence, and the comedy feels genuinely goofy, as if kids would enjoy it. Along with the art style, it's very goofy, cartoonish, like kids would see this and think, oh, this is for me. This is something I should be reading. So whether or not you think that this is something that would be fine for your kids to read, I would suggest you reading it first and then making that decision, or at least considering those factors that I've talked about. Some parents might be okay with it, but some parents might not be. It also depends how old your kid is, you know? Maybe I wouldn't give this to my nieces, or at least without their parents looking at me weird, like, there's dead bodies in this comic. I've also noticed that sometimes the word balloons don't really flow together very well, and I found myself occasionally rereading some dialogue exchanges to understand which word balloons were actually supposed to be read first. And occasionally word balloons are replaced with narrative boxes, but it doesn't seem like a narrative box belongs in that scene or belongs to be used, and I think why they replaced it word balloon with boxes every now and then is just because maybe they felt as though there was not enough room in a balloon to put the dialogue in. Getting more into the story and characters in this comic, I do think that the comic itself has a pretty slow start. If you're going to show like maybe the first 3 pages in a preview, it might not convince people to buy it. I do think this opening could be edited down, especially if this is going to be targeted towards a younger audience, then they're probably going to want to get right into it. And of course, then we learn about the mystery and the crime, and that's when things start picking up a bit. Showing the dynamic between Alphonse and his friend was very important to push this comic where it needed to be, and I think it was a good idea to make them a duo team. If you just had this friend on the side while Alphonse was by himself solving the case, it would not have been as enjoyable of a comic. It almost makes you wonder if Scooter should have been introduced earlier in the comic. Maybe he should have started out at the bar, and maybe when he got home he got the case, and I don't know. The dynamic with Scooter and Alphonse is pretty basic. You know, Alphonse is the very serious detective, while Scooter is very hyperactive, very goofy, and at times also kind of ignorant, because he doesn't really know much about detective work as Alphonse does. It's kind of like having a little kid sidekick. 2 issues in, so far every issue kind of ends open-endedly so that you don't really know how this crime is going to be solved yet. It keeps you hooked on there in the mystery. But I almost wonder if it would be better if every individual issue was based on a different mystery, and by the end of each issue they solve an individual mystery, you know what I mean? Because I'd like to see more than one adventure with these two. I'm sure that there's a lot of potential out there. Even if they're not solving a mystery, maybe they could go on funny hijinks together. I will tell you, one of the things that bothered me about these issues is that issue 1 and issue 2 have the exact same cover. That's a no-no. You see, one of the fun things about doing issues instead of a whole big graphic novel is that you have different fun art for each issue. It takes a little bit of the fun away if you're just gonna have it be the same exact cover. So if you are interested in looking at Alphonse the Dogtective, I'll leave a link to where you can find it down below in the description from Patchwork Comics. And I noticed that their prices not that bad. This comic's actually going for $2.50. I have this one digitally, and you can also buy this digitally. So there you go. I hope you did enjoy my review, and if you would like to see me reviewing more comics, make sure you leave likes on this video so I can see how you feel. And of course, as usual, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Program restart. Shutting down all systems.